Thank you, Anna. So yeah, let's go to our main part today about 3 case studies. The first one I'm going to introduce is Proven. This is a brand from the UK, and actually, they're originally they were a lab and factory. Okay, they research and develop and manufactured the probiotics products for big brands in the United States and Australia, and I believe you have heard of all the big names. Okay, and in the year 2011, they decided to launch their own brand, which is Proven, and but they just used a very traditional model to sell in the UK and some other countries by offline only, and in China they adapted online. And their USP to the Chinese consumers is their expertise. They specialized only in the probiotic products. And as you may know, the probiotics is more complicated than, let's say, vitamins, right? So because you have to make the germs and let it grow, so it's complicated. And so they don't do any other products. And also, although this is a supplement, but they also passed the same clinical trial as medicine to guarantee the quality and effect of the consumer, the users. And also, as you can see, they cooperate with some very famous British universities, such as Cambridge. And that is why the Chinese consumers, they trust these big universities, of course, much more than the Chinese government, right? So this is another reason. And also they have a lot of new products. For example, as we can see in the pictures on the right-hand side, the probiotic for women. This is very popular in China now because the female, they are getting more and more attention to their own health. So this is a new trend, and they because the traditional probiotics is for a digestive system, something like this, but they now have this product for the this is one of the top seller in the Chinese market. And let's have a look at the performance in China. They entered the Chinese market in the August of 2019, last year, and as we can see here, they had a spike on this March. Why? Because March the 8th is the International Women's Day in China. So that's why, yeah, a lot of women, they bought the probiotic for women, as I just mentioned. And another thing, and also their sales target for this year is 35 million RMB, so which is almost 5 million US. And another interesting I can share with you is how they passed the CIQ. I mean, that the future plan of the CIQ, yes, supplements is very difficult to pass the CIQ, but Proven, they have a new plan. They are going to launch the drinks and with probiotics, okay? And then they can put this into the beverage category. So because in food and beverage category, it is much easier to pass the CIQ. So if you are producing the similar products, supplement, maybe you can think about this way. And they're about marketing, they are using we call them KOL, which means key opinion leader marketing. And in China, we have another special term in Chinese, we call it 种草, which means to plant the seed in the consumer's heart. Okay, it's like a plant, a 种, which means a plant, 草, which means seed or a grass seed. Okay, so that means to do the branding softly in your heart and let the brand to grow in your heart. And eventually, especially as a new brand, people use this method to do the branding softly in your mind, so in your heart. So that is called 种草. And in China, there are many this kind of KOL platforms for the TikTok, Little Red Book, or 简书, or 知乎, or 快手. So, but maybe you have heard of a TikTok, which is very popular in the Western world. But Another suggestion for you is in China, TikTok is not very good for a supplement category. Okay, for other categories, it is very good, but for supplement category, they have a very strict rules, restrictions for the supplement category, for the marketing and sales. And so what we can learn from Proven? We have a discussion with this brand, and also we have some suggestions from ourselves. From the brand perspective, they gave us 3 points. I mean, for the merchants who are planning to sell the products into the Chinese market. Okay, and the first thing is TP is very important. TP means Tmall partner. Okay, which means the company, the local partner who will take care of all your business in China, including the store setup, the operation, the marketing, the customer service, the logistics, etc. And so that's why you need to create the synergy with our TP. They had first contact with the TP in last May, and in last August they kick off the business. They launched the business. So that's a very good example for the business. And also don't worry the complicated too much, because if you have a good TP, they will help you with all the difficulties. And another thing is to have a Chinese, it is very good. Why they can make decisions so fast? Because one of their top management, senior management team is a Chinese. And also the last point is to do the marketing, always do the marketing based on good products, because they specialized in the probiotics category. So that is why their marketing activities are very effective. And from our club perspective, we also give you 3 suggestions. Number 1 is, as Verena has said, cross-border e-commerce is the best channel for foreign supplements to enter China market. And second is you always trace the market trend and develop the products. For example, the women probiotics I just mentioned. And the last point is the 种草. Okay, if you can remember this word, and when you talk to the Chinese partners, you tell them, okay, I want 种草. They will be very surprised and realize, okay, you are an expert of this industry. And also, finally, I give you some data about this industry as we can. I'm not going to introduce too details, and just you can see there, some top sellers on Tmall Global, and these are some brands, top brands in this probiotics, and also some brands in the whole supplements category. All these data are open data, okay? Because on Tmall, on Alibaba, all Alibaba group marketplaces, they provide transparent data. So which means you don't have to spend a huge amount of money to buy data from any consultancy firms, okay? And of course, I think it could be difficult for you to grasp, to collect all the data and do the analysis, because you don't know, you are not familiar with the platform and you don't know Chinese that well. So that's why we also, the China Hub Club, we provide data reports. We systematically collect all the data and organize the data and present to you, so to save your time and effort. So this is what we are doing. So Anna, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I always remind for myself and for all club members and brands, in China, we are all equal, because usually Chinese merchants, they don't know too much about all brands from foreign countries. So even you're a super big company or you're just a small startup with very aggressive team who want to achieve very good sales results, you will be the same for Chinese market, which is good. And I think if you know the strategy and you just follow these trends and use the methods what we just shared and we prepared with Xiaomin and Zarina today, you will be successful There are no magic, and you don't need to be a super big brand to be successful, which is an excellent era because it's a place for entrepreneur minds of team founders and general managers. If you are entrepreneur in your mind, you can be very successful in China.
Thank you very much, Aina. And oh, by the way, if you have any questions about today's webinar, please leave your question in the chat box of Zoom or in the comment of YouTube or Facebook. Okay, and we will answer them after the introduction.